Good evening. It's my privilege to introduce to you an outstanding young man, a young man that I could not be more proud of, Matthew Albrecht. When Matthew first walked in my classroom, I'm sure he had no idea how FFA would become such an important part of his life. He probably didn't envision himself as a state officer. I'm not even sure the idea of being a leader came to his mind. But that is exactly what happened and exactly who Matthew is. Often from humble beginnings is where greatness is found. Matthew's genuine concern for others, unassuming attitude, authenticity, and strong growth mindset have allowed him to evolve from a fairly shy and definitely humble freshman into a confident and willing leader. With his growth mindset, one day, one task, one contest, one office at a time approach, Matthew has lived in the moment, been true to himself, and allowed those experiences to build and mold him into the person he has become. His genuine care for others and authenticity allows Matthew to connect with people, build meaningful relationships, and make a positive impact on those that he works with and serves. Matthew, I would say that I'll miss our many great conversations we've had over the years, but instead, I'll hope we have a few more of those to share in our future. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome your friend and mine, Matthew Albrecht, your 2019-2020 Region 4 State Vice President.
Good evening, Michigan FFA. It is an honor to be here tonight to introduce Anna for her retiring address. It's hard to believe that this day is here already. I remember how excited we were a year ago when Anna was elected as a state officer. But it wasn't that long ago that Anna and her friends were young 7th graders here competing in the junior high conduct of meetings contest. I'd be lying if I said I didn't imagine this moment, even way back then. You see, 15 years ago, Anna and our sisters were standing right here introducing me, and now it's my turn. She was only 4 then, and she was probably more interested in the big hammer on the table than she was in my speech. Anna's potential has always been easy to see. Whether it was FFA, school, sports, or whatever her next chapter holds, her positive attitude, dedication, and willingness to give her all almost guarantees her success. Now, she didn't win every contest she competed in or every basketball game that she played, but that's not how you define success. For Anna, the success is measured by the relationship she has built, the FFA members that she has inspired, and the impact that she leaves on the organizations, teams, and groups that she's a part of. I know that the relationships and the memories that she has made through FFA over the past year will last her a lifetime. And I hope that she has inspired you to dare to dream. Anna, I could not be more proud of the person that you are. Michigan FFA, thank you for giving her this opportunity to serve, and please help me in welcoming for her retiring address, your state sentinel and my baby sister, Anna Baker.
I'm joining the soccer team because my friend wants me to.
My dad was the captain of the football team, so I'm expected to be as well.
Everybody expects me to get good grades, so my free time is spent studying.
I'm always giving advice to my friends, but I never feel like I can ask for my own.
At some point in our lives, we face an expectation set by ourselves or from others. Maybe it's being a football star, achieving good grades, or participating in a certain activity. We do these things only because others want us to, and expectations limit us from focusing on what we want or what we need. We let these expectations control our lives instead of us directing our own.
In middle and high school, I spent all of my time in one of two places, either in Mr. Barnum's ag room or at the donkey rescue farm near my hometown. I loved everything about the donkey farm. Now, I didn't have too many responsibilities when I was out there. I pretty much just cleaned stalls, threw hay bales into feeders, and walked the donkeys. But my friend Courtney was just the opposite. Courtney was another volunteer. She led most of the rescue operations and took the lead in managing the whole farm. In November of 2014, she got a phone call. 20 donkeys from Kentucky were being abandoned. Without hesitation, she hitched up a livestock trailer to her Silverado, made final arrangements, and hit the road.
Ever since I was little, I wanted to be just like my older siblings. Because they were so much older than me, I couldn't wait to wear the same clothes, play the same sports, and be in the same clubs. I wanted to be just as cool as they were. The summer before entering my freshman year, I was ecstatic to finally play high school sports. Being the youngest of 3 siblings who all excelled at sports, I was bound to get involved. Following in both of my sister's footsteps, I decided to play both volleyball and run cross country during the fall season.
10 hours later, Courtney had 20 donkeys loaded up. Once back home, she realized that this may be a bigger challenge than she had originally expected. All of the animals were extremely malnourished and had terrible hooves. Half the group was pregnant, and a group of yearlings had pneumonia. Even though all of these obstacles were extremely overwhelming, Courtney was not going to back down or give up on anyone. She stayed up all night, nursing the sick back to health and delivering new foals, maybe sneaking in an hour of sleep, doing chores for 100+ animals on the farm, then for the new 20 in quarantine, going to school all day, coming home to check on the animals, hopefully fitting in some time for homework, then doing chores again, and then staying up all night again. This was exhausting. And this began to be a cycle, day after day after day.
The first week of practice rolled around, and I couldn't wait to be a part of a team. After school, I went straight to the gym, put on my knee pads, and laced up my shoes. Right after volleyball, I ran outside to meet up with my cross-country coach to complete my workout for the day. Eventually, I had nailed down my new routine. Wake up, go to school, go to volleyball, then cross-country, go home, do homework, sleep. Wake up, go to school, go to volleyball, then cross-country, go home, do homework, sleep. Soon, my schedule was packed with volleyball games and cross-country meets. I had a sporting event 5 out of the 7 days in a week. The initial excited feeling I felt during the first week of practice had faded, and I began to struggle to keep up with my busy schedule. Schoolwork began to pile up, and my mental health fell to an all-time low. I couldn't wait for this sports season to be over.
Courtney put the weight of the new donkeys and the entire rescue operation on her shoulders. Not because anyone was forcing her to do so, and she wasn't being paid a dime. She did it because she wanted to make sure that every animal was taken care of to the highest degree, and didn't want to burden others by asking them to take a shift in the barn or do chores for a night. She never complained, never quit, and never had the thought even cross her mind that maybe she needed to put herself first. Why didn't Courtney put herself first? She embodies the definition of selflessness. Everything she did was for someone else. But let me let you in on a little secret. Courtney was drained. She wouldn't have ever let you know it, but she was. She spent every second of her day doing things for other people and animals, but never gave herself a chance to recharge.
I had been looking forward to the district race since the beginning of the season. This race meant that cross country was finally coming to an end. I woke up that morning wishing I had gotten just a couple more hours of sleep. On the way to the meet, I was nervous. I had been training my entire season for this and wanted to improve my personal record. I warmed up and headed to the start line. The gun fired and everyone took off. But after the first mile, I felt my legs get tired. My pace slowed and girls started to pass me. A cramp had formed in my side, and now I was just focused on finishing the race. I crossed the finish line, upset but relieved. I didn't set a new personal record, but now my season was finally over.
Think about it. Courtney spent so much time doing things for others that she denied herself of the sleep, time, and energy she needed to be her best self. Do you think it would have been too much for Courtney to ask another volunteer to lend a helping hand and give her a day off? She needed to lower the expectations that she was putting on herself and give herself a chance to breathe. She needed to find a way to balance her needs with everyone else's.
After my last race and final game, I reflected on the season. I began to think about why I had put myself in such a challenging position. I realized that I didn't decide to play both volleyball and run cross country because I wanted to. I got involved in both sports because I thought I had to. I made up this idea in my head that because my siblings did something, then I was expected to do it too. I spent so much of my time worrying about being just like my siblings that I had forgotten to put my needs first.
Have you ever done something because you felt like it was expected of you? Or have you ever done something because you expected too much from yourself? The reality is that we are all surrounded with expectations from ourselves and from others. But the truth is that we can't do it all. We don't have the time or energy. We need to take a step back, be honest, and realize that sometimes we have to do what's best for ourselves. We can't expect perfection. We need to set boundaries to recognize when too much is too much.
For you, these boundaries might look like sitting down and prioritizing what matters to you. Don't be afraid to say no when your plate is already full. Or maybe it looks like remembering to value our intentions over our perfection. Maybe we just need to be willing to take a moment to recharge when we are feeling overwhelmed.
Putting yourself first on occasion is not selfish. In order to serve others well, we have to take time to recharge in order to be at our best. I have a teacher, Mr. Chapin, who preaches filling others' buckets. Filling one's bucket consists of complimenting people or helping them out, serving them, which is incredible. But when you think about it, in order to fill others' buckets, yours has to be full itself.
Setting expectations is important, but we need to know when enough is enough and be okay with voicing that to others. When we are so caught up on pushing ourselves over our limits, we restrict our abilities. There's nothing wrong with saying no. Everyone here is busy. Don't let the pressures from others deter you from making your own choices. Joining a club or sport that you are not passionate about because you feel pressure to do so does not benefit anyone.
Taking a minute to reevaluate our values and schedules can allow us to make the best choices for ourselves. Finding the balance between our expectations and our boundaries is key to our personal success.
Michigan FFA, find your balance.
It's been a long time coming, couldn't keep on running, had to hit rock bottom to know. When you keep on losing with the path you're choosing, then it's time to let go of someone that I used to know.
Anna, thank you for being our ray of sunshine on cloudy days. Thank you for always lighting up the room with your smile and for bringing warmth to the team. Thank you for capturing our memories with your vlogging addiction craze and for sharing in many laughs. Thank you for showing us the definition of inner beauty and what it means to serve others in the way you'd like to be served. Michigan FFA, our state sentinel, Anna Baker.
Matthew, thank you for the endless hitch kicks, eye rolls, and attitude. We will never forget your love of donkeys and your ability to adapt to any situation. Thank you for being our team dad and our biggest critic. Thank you for being a servant leader this year and truly exemplifying what it means to be there for everyone around you. Mattitude, you are the only one we'd want on this stage with us. Michigan FFA, our Region 4 State Vice President, Matthew Albrecht.